Now to make our guava wine, we will be using the following. I've got 3 pounds of guavas. Okay, we want to have on hand anywhere from 4 to 6 cups of sugar. We will be making adjustments to determine just how much sugar we're going to need, but we're going to have at least 6 cups on hand. I'm going to be using a Red Star Premier Coupe de Blanc wine yeast because of its low ABV alcohol tolerance, and it is pretty decent for white wines. If you don't have it, of course, you can always use your standby. That will still work. We are still going to be using some regular original active dry yeast, and that yeast is going to be used as part of our yeast nutrient. We'll need 1 black tea bag, and that black tea bag is going to be acting as our tannin substitute to give our wine a little bit of astringency in the back end. We're going to need a couple of straining bags. We're going to need at least 1 gallon of clean filtered water. We're going to need a wide mouth container, jug, jar, demi-jar, whatever, take your pick, as long as it's got a wide mouth opening so we can get our straining bags into. We're going to need a regular 1 gallon carboy that we'll be using for part of our secondary fermentation later on. We are most definitely going to need an airlock with bung that will fit our secondary fermenter. This particular primary fermenter does have a built-in airlock, but if you don't have a built-in airlock, you might want to get a airlock just for this as well. It would be also helpful if you had a hydrometer with testing tube to help us determine where our starting gravity is going to be, so that at the end of the process we can determine what our ending gravity is going to be, at which time we'll know how much alcohol we have produced in our wine. Also, last but certainly not least, we want to make sure that everything has been properly cleaned and sanitized before we begin the process and during the process, using your favorite food grade sanitizer of choice, either One Step, Star San, or whatever it is you happen to use. Not shown on this table because it's just too big to fit is a good 8-quart pot, because we'll be using that later on. And that, my friends, is what I'm going to be using to make this wine. Now, I've taken the opportunity to thoroughly wash these guavas, because what we want to do now is that we want to go ahead and give these things a rough chop. The only thing that I'm probably going to do is remove the ends of the guava. We'll not be putting those in the pot, but basically we just need a rough chop. Get rid of the part I don't want, and go ahead and slice these bad boys up. Interesting. Okay. Surprisingly, I've never had guava that I can recall, maybe in a drink or something, but never as eating it as a fruit. So starting with that one, I'm just going to go ahead and get those in a straining bag. And move on to the next one. Okay, last one. This one, oh no, looks like it might be past its prime. I think we're going to leave that one where it be, and we're just going to tie off our straining bags, or straining bag. And let's move this show into the kitchen. Now here we are in the kitchen. We want to do a couple of things. One, we want to take a little bit of our water, I don't know, between roughly half a cup, 3/4 of a cup. Pour that into a small saucepan. We want to drop in our tannin substitute. And we want to take a quarter of a teaspoon of our bread yeast. And we want to go ahead and just put that in there. And the reason why we're putting bread yeast in the pot and we're cooking it is that we want to kill off that bread yeast. And the reason for that is that when we put in our wine yeast later on, the wine yeast is going to feed upon the dead carcasses of the bread yeast, acting as a homemade yeast nutrient. And that's why we do that. So let's turn the heat on to a simmer, because we want a nice hot of strong tea. In our remaining water, We want to put in our big pot. All right. Put our lid back on. Turn the stove on. High in this case, because we just want to bring this up to a boil. Okay, now that our water has had a chance to come to a boil, we want to go ahead and drop in our guava. And we want to turn off the heat on both eyes. The reason why we're putting our guava in hot water is because since this channel does not use sulfites, putting the fruit in boiling water will help kill off any of the wild yeast that would be on the fruit, and to some degree, some of the bacteria that's also on the fruit. And since we have the opportunity, we may as well go ahead and add in our tannin/yeast nutrient substitutes. And let's let the temperature come down. Now our mixture has come down to room temperature, and I want to add in our sugar. But before I did that, I did a quick calculation to determine just how much sugar I really should put in here to get the sort of desired ABV or hydrometer reading that I want. Otherwise, I would have added in the sugar while the juice, musk, was still hot. It makes dissolving it a whole lot more easier. But calculation said 3.5 cups. I've just put in 3.5 cups, and I'll take another hydrometer reading to determine if the numbers are correct. All right, let's take a hydrometer reading. Okay, I started with a hydrometer reading of 1.010. I now have a hydrometer reading of 1.080, which is exactly where I wanted it. So there we go. That should give me, if all things being said and equal, a final ABV of about 12%. Now I've already taken the liberty of transferring our juice into our primary fermenter. And all we need to do now to start the actual winemaking process is to add in our yeast. I'm using, again, 1/4 teaspoon of Red Star Premier Coupe des Blanc. Of course, you can use whatever you got. Bread yeast will do it. And try and sprinkle it around kind of as evenly as possible. But since we're dealing with straining bags, we'll probably just give it a quick little stir, just to incorporate the yeast a bit. Put a lid back on. And before moving on to the next step, I'm just once again pointing out that this particular fermenter does have a built-in airlock. So if you don't have one with an airlock, you'll be using one where you're adding your own. Now, because this project is going to last at least 12 months, it would be helpful if we could label our creation, as I always generally like to say. We are making a guava wine. We started it on this date, and our original gravity reading was 1.080. Now, of course, what we're going to do is that we're going to do a couple of things. For the next 3 days, we're going to go ahead, open this cap up, and give our must a good generous stir. After that 3 days, we're not going to do that anymore because we don't want to start running the risk of oxidation. We're going to take our straining bags out after about 5 or 6 days and discard those however you want. And we will probably rack the remaining liquid into a secondary carboy and begin the process of secondary fermentation. And we'll be doing periodic rackings every 6 or 8 weeks or so from one carboy into another to remove the liquid from any yeast that might be developing along the bottom of the container until the wine is clear enough for our liking or it's old enough for our liking as well. Of course, you can see all of these processes in my winemaking operations playlist on my channel page. And of course, if you like what you see here, as always, please click on the subscribe and notify buttons. Better yet, become a member. Better yet, become a Patreon to help support this channel. So until then, see you in the next video.